Today is all about aeroplanes and observations. First up, we're going to revisit Jay Tolan's cracking observation of Baja from Texas. And then we're going to get really high and absolutely annihilate the globe off the back of JT, and of course using the globe mathematics with a little bit of help from the United States Air Force. So let's have a look. First up, of course, is JT's 760-mile observation of Baja from Texas. So take it away, JT. Incredible, considering the globe mathematics tells us that Baja, what we're seeing there, should be 35 miles behind globe Earth curve. 35 miles. Here's Baja on Google Earth, and here's a side-by-side comparison. Incredible observation. 760 miles from an altitude, I think, of 34,500 feet, I believe it was. Incredible. And it's only going to get worse now as we get higher. This spinning pantomime world just falls to pieces. Now, if JT's observation wasn't bad enough, our next observation by an American hero, a United States Air Force Major, Brian Shaw, who was a SR-71 pilot, his observation, believe it or not, was of 1,400 miles, possibly further. But I've come in at a slightly smaller figure just to please the Cannonball crew here. But let's have a quick listen to Brian, and then then we'll have a look at the globe maths and see how ridiculous this globe nonsense really is. Come on then, Brian. Back up Jay Tolan and demonstrable reality and highlight the absurdity of this globe Earth theory.
Walter and I were doing a training mission around the United States where you just were building up hours and time. And we take off out of Beale, hit a tanker in Idaho, rip on up to Montana, zip across Denver, hang a right turn in Albuquerque, out over Los Angeles, up to Seattle, back into Sacramento, 2 hours, 21 minutes. And you just do that then you do it backwards and you hit a tanker or two. It was just to gain crew coordination, build your hours. We're on our last training mission. We're over Tucson. I can see downtown LA from Tucson. We're at 89,000 feet. I can see the whole western United States bathed in a warm October fall glow. I can see the chain of Rocky Mountains from Canada to New Mexico. I could just see the most beautiful picture laid at my feet.
I bet you can, Brian. And if you could see the chain of the Rocky Mountains coming from Canada all the way down to New Mexico, I'd say you could see a bit too far for the old globe model, me old mate. Thus backing Jay Tolan's observation in infrared, and of course again standing by demonstrable reality. If we were to put your observation height and what you were seeing into the globe calculator, it turns out the Canadian Rocky Mountains that you were seeing at 1,400 miles away, Brian, should have been 140 miles behind globe Earth curve. I believe the highest point of the Canadian Rockies is 2 miles high approximately. So taking that into account, the top of the Canadian Rockies should have been 138 miles behind globe Earth curve, Brian. So I think it's quite obvious the Earth isn't a ball. We know that anyway, but your observation tells us so. And of course, when we look at the globe mathematics and put it with your observation, it kind of highlights the absurdity of this globe nonsense. I'm curious to know, Brian, how far you could see with an infrared camera like Pt1. And that's kind of where we're going to be going with part 2 of this video. We're going to be taking it the next step. Very interesting. But Brian and Pt1 here today have annihilated the globe. Pt1's observation, Baja, should have been 35 miles behind globe Earth curve. Brian's observation of the Canadian Rockies, according to the globe Earth maths, should have been 138 miles behind globe Earth curve. Clearly, the globe is impossible, not only through observations, but of course through demonstrable real-world science that can be tested and verified by every single one of us. Cheers, Brian. Cheers, Pt1. Appreciate that. Looking forward to part 2, where we go a little bit more in depth with more US aircraft and the uses of modern day